guys, welcome to another video. So today I'm going to be doing another Knot and Chill video. And I know I posted one yesterday, but I just felt like doing another one today because I don't really feel like doing a lot of editing right now. So I'm just going to be sitting down and knotting another bracelet. So if you guys are wondering how my other one turned out, this is how it went. I really enjoyed making it every second, and actually I loved it so much that all I really did was knot it for at least half a day, because I do know that most bracelets take exactly 24 hours to make in all. Of course, on and off with the knotting. But this one I just worked on so much, it only took half a day, so it was pretty cool, and I love the pattern so much and it looks amazing. So I'm going to be just sitting down and I'm going to be giving you guys some bracelet tips, because I know that those are really well needed around the bracelet community, and I know they can be pretty helpful sometimes. And as you guys know, I've been knotting for quite a while now, and I have picked up a lot of tips and tricks along the way, so I'll be just getting into those right now. So first of all, if you guys are wondering what pattern this is, I will put the pattern up on the screen. And I have done this pattern before, but I was not that good of a knotter when I first did this. I was sort of out of practice because I had stopped for a couple of years, and I got bored of this one because it didn't look so good. And with me, I stopped making bracelets or certain patterns, and I just scrap them if I don't like the outcome of them, whether it's the start or midway or just pretty much everything about it. If I don't like it, I just stop it, because I am very much a perfectionist when it comes to art. I have in this one, and I did stop it. I made it into a keychain, and I think, I don't even know where it is anymore. I think I just lost it. Anyways, I'm making this one again because I just recently watched one of Mosh Knot's videos, and she was using this, or a similar pattern to this one, as a reference, and it really reminded me of it, because as you guys can see here, the Celtic design right here has three square diamond shapes that sort of interlock with each other, and that one that she had referenced in one of her videos only had two, and this one had three, so it just reminded me of this one. So I just decided to go and search for the pattern and then add it to my to-do list and make it. So that's what I'm doing today. Anyways, let's move on with the tips and tricks for the bracelets. So first I'll be doing like tips for normal patterns and maybe just for all bracelets in general. But my first tip is to keep your knots loose. So this is with every type of bracelet that you make, whether it's a normal or an alpha or even a macrame bracelet. Make sure to keep your knots loose and even. That is like the main issue that people forget to do, because the tighter you tie your knots, the more tension you have, the worse of the outcome. Because your knots can get pretty messy. It could cause a lot of issues if you have your knots tight and there's a lot of tension. So I would highly recommend keeping your knots nice and loose so they can sort of even themselves out and just stay even in general. And that is the tip I have learned. So this actually helps, I think, the most with alphas, because with normal patterns, I don't know what it is, but I don't know. It just improves your normal patterns, but more so with the alpha patterns. So basically with the alpha patterns, I started my first alpha pattern a long time ago. I mean, by a long time ago, 6 months ago, maybe even more than that. But I did do my first alpha pattern, and I had my knots tied super tight, because I do know that that's a pretty much a tendency for all bracelet makers, is to keep their knots tight. And I do find that quite an issue with me, so when I tried to tie my knots a little bit looser and experiment sort of with my alphas, it turned out so much better. It just made it all even, just made the color switches a lot cleaner, and just the overall knots more of a square shape than an elongated oval. Because I remember before I started to tie them a lot looser, they were very elongated. They were very oval like shaped up and down, just very elongated, and it annoyed me so much. So I did end up quitting a lot of bracelets because of that issue, and I had no idea that it was the tension of my knots. So that's definitely the key to having good bracelets. Also, another tip I would have for I guess I'll just go back to normal patterns here. I would suggest doing whatever is easiest for you. So for example, to start your bracelet out, if you enjoy doing ties like on either side, so I'm doing a loop here, I mean like a triangle end with ties on either side of the bracelet, and it's easier to tie on your wrist, then definitely go ahead and do that. But for me, I actually like doing loops, so I would suggest doing that for me. So basically what I'm saying is that do what's best for you in terms of bracelets. Because that way it'll be a lot more fun to make, and it'll also be a lot easier in general just to put on and I guess to make in general. But yeah, so that's my second tip. My third tip is to be very careful with your color choice, because I know a lot of people stop their bracelets because they don't like it or they just don't like the colors. And I think the colors is the main issue, at least with me, but I feel like it would be an issue with a lot of other people in general. So yeah, definitely watch your colors. Today when I was picking out the colors for this normal pattern I'm making right here, I spent at least half an hour trying to figure out what colors to use. And the variations help me, so I just look on the actual website of Bracelet Book, not the app, because there are no variations on the app, just on the website. And I look at the variations sometimes, and they really help me out by choosing my colors. I can also make the bracelet in the same colors as the variation, and it'll turn out amazing. And yeah, I'm going to be going into alphas now. Always do the flat alpha color switch as well as the straight edges technique, because those really help with the overall product of your bracelet. Because I know a lot of people have issues with bumps in their patterns, and I think that is mainly because there's color switching. And because if you are only to do a regular alpha pattern with only one color, which is just rows and rows of a background color, there will be no issues with bumps. For the most part, because I do know that bumps can also be caused by the tension of your knots. But I think color switching is the main issue when it comes to bumps in the alpha pattern. So I would definitely just do the flat alpha color switch and make sure the threads are all even inside each knot when you're doing the flat alpha technique, because that just really helps the overall bumps issues with the alpha pattern. And then the straight edges technique, I guess it's optional. It depends on people's taste in terms of the edges of your alpha pattern, because I do know that some people prefer the sort of wavy look of the edges when there is no straight edge technique on their alphas, but in my opinion I think it is just overall better for the edges. But yeah, that's just my opinion. But I would recommend doing the straight edges technique. And I do know there are a lot of questions about that when you're switching colors on the outsides. So for example, in this alpha bracelet right here, you can see the edges are not just plain blue. There is some yellow included, dotted, everywhere on the sides. And I might potentially do a tutorial on how to switch with those different colors on the edges, because I do know that there are a lot of questions out there. And then one last tip I have for you guys is to be careful with your ties. So I usually do these twisted ties at the very ends of my bracelets because I think they're very simple to do and they're very quick and they look really cool. But yeah, do whatever ties are quickest for you and whatever you prefer to do. Also, trying new ties sometimes are a really good way to tie off your bracelet, because I know there are a lot of ties out there that I have no idea about. And there's one that I recently learned about called the round braid. It's basically where you have 4 groups of strings that could or could not be even numbers of bundles of strings that are split in 4, if that makes sense. And basically you're taking the outermost left or right string first, whichever you prefer, and to go under 2 and back 1, which actually creates a really beautiful spiral, or like, in other words, half and half braid. And I think that looks pretty cool. So just really focusing on the overall ties of your pattern, and just every aspect of it really helps. And the main moral of the story today is to keep your knots loose, because keeping them loose just creates a lot less tension throughout the sides. It makes them so much more straight. It evens out your knots, and in alpha patterns, it makes your knots look really neat and sort of in a square shape rather than an elongated oval, which I know I had a major issue with a couple of months ago until I started to loosen my knots up. So that is pretty much all of the tips I have for you guys today. I know there were only a couple and it took forever to explain, so I apologize to that. But I, regardless, hope you guys enjoyed this video. So I'm nearing 300 subscribers. I'm going to be coming out with a 300 subscribers special video, which I already know what it's going to be, so it'll be a little surprise for you guys. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more bracelet content from me in the future, such as these types of videos, more series in the future, monthly wrap-ups, tutorials, specials like I was just describing, and many other types of videos and fun activities with friendship bracelets. So again, I thank you guys all for watching, and I hope you like this video. Bye!